Go for the platinum Rolex. Now it's Christmas. Hello, everyone, and welcome to 2K Sports. I'm Damon Bruce. Wednesday night in the NBA. It's going to be the New York Knicks up against Dirk Nowitzki and the Dallas Mavericks. And now we head out to Dallas with Kevin Harlan, Steve Kerr, and Mark Kellogg.
We're going to go for the sweep. And hopefully we're not seeing in the playoffs because we're going to sweep the Harrison Cross too. Oh, no, they should be saying they don't see us in the playoffs. We're going to sweep them in the playoffs. NBA Finals. Alright, that's how you hear it. Come on now.
I go on and on, can't understand how it lasts so long. I must have superpowers, rap 225,000 hours. Get a calculator, do the math. I made 1,000 songs that makes moving. For the last 300 months, I made 16 albums. Me and she brought you load of this.
Basketball in store for you. We're live at the American Airlines Center. We're in Dallas, Texas, the home of the Mavericks. All live on 2K Sports. We're happy to have you with us. 2K Sports presentation of
such a luxury to have late in games when the defense really tightens up. You can get him the ball and he'll create something, either an open look, a drive to the hole, or get himself to the foul line.
And that isn't the end of it there either. I mean, even if he sticks with not wanting to get a hand in his face, a lot of times it doesn't phase him. You might as well not even bother the way he finishes his defenders in his grill. I mean, he's got excellent concentration shooting the ball.
Taking a look at New York. This is a determined team right now, and they've won 7-1 with a terrific start to the season.
When I look at New York, they've been terrific in the early going this year. I mean, it looks like all the decisions they made in the offseason are right on point. Their plan's really working for them.
Yeah, I think it's been impressive what they've done, especially given the fact that the expectations were not that high coming into the season. So if anything, they've just kind of gone about their business quietly, put together a nice solid year to this point, and we'll see if they can keep it rolling.
Now here's Mayo after Derek Collison's this. The kick out to Mayo. Again, Mayo missing. Oh, with the Dallas Mavericks in their last game of to Golden State.
I'll bet they're still not sure how they lost that game, guys, or at least that it wasn't a little closer anymore, because they got some good performances out of people.
Yeah, you know what? That's one of those games where you just have to tip your hat to your opponent. Give them credit. Give them credit. They played a terrific game.
Well, you know, by now we're all used to seeing the goggles for Maurice Stoudemire. He started wearing them in his seventh season in the league after suffering detached retinas. And that was a big blow for that Suns team. I was the general manager that year, and that basically cost us the playoffs.
Collison dishes to Mayo. Back to Collison. Dishes it to Keenan. That ball. Great assist by Darren Collison. Collison's got 3 assists in the game. Going back to the goggles for Stoudemire, he joins a pretty distinguished group of big men and forwards. Down that aisle.
Well, the guy that I think about was my boyhood idol, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. He made him fashionable way back when. You know, as a scoring big man, you don't get banged around a little bit. You get smacked and bumped and hit. At the end of the day, officials can only protect you so much. And if you've had a history with any type of eye injury, it makes sense to put those goggles on.
Let's go quickly over to Doris Brooks for an update.
Part of this game will depend on how well they can slow down Carmelo Anthony. He added with his size and shooting ability, he can score inside and out. We're going to try a couple different coverages and show him different looks over the course of the game to try to keep him off balance. And guys, I guess we'll see how it works. Back to you.
Thanks, Doris.
Nice start here. Taking 5 shots, only missed 1 of them. It was a season of highs and lows for the Knicks last year, and one of their lows was how they played when they were on the road. Just not up to their standard.
Now here's Kamen. He's coming off a 10-point game against Golden State.
He is so good at working himself into the open spots on the floor inside that three-point line.
Good drive by Jordan. And there's another one for the Knicks. And it was the play of the Knicks on the road that really took them back and forced them to scramble just to get in the playoffs. It was tough for them, speed, but they got in, and unfortunately losing in the first round to Miami.
Yeah, but going 14 and 19 just isn't going to get it done. I think it was a good indication that the Knicks just weren't quite good enough last year. They made the playoffs, but they didn't do anything. They've got to improve their performance on the road this year to take that next step as a team.
Gets it to go.
Nice job there. He knows how to get that ball in the bucket, doesn't he, guys?
Marion outside.
Oh!
Passes it to King. Releases from 15. And he nails the jump. Team has got 8.
I'll tell you, he's not made.
Really solid start. He's knocking down 4 of his first 5 shots.
Anthony kicks to Stoudemire. And Nowitzki with the block. And now here's Melo. The fast break opportunity. Gets it to go. Points for him.
Well, he stepped up this quarter, providing a hot hand to help carry them offensively.
Anthony right side. Chandler, New York, moving it around. Here's Shorty. Good. He hits the jump shot. Shorty's got his third basket of the night right there. And Dallas calls their first time out of the game. And against New York here for the second time this season.
And the final score doesn't really indicate how well they played that night, Clark.
No, it doesn't. I mean, they were on the end of a few bad breaks that swung the game the other way. It should have been closer.
Now here's Collison. 11 points for him in that last game against Golden State.
He was exquisite in that game, Kevin. It wasn't just the scoring, it was the passing, too. And his teammates, you could tell, were just really enjoying playing with him.
Nowitzki. The shot's good. Collison making the play. Collison's got his 6th assist on the night. For the New York Knicks, they won their last contest against New Orleans.
And that was such an entertaining game, guys. It would have been even without overtime, but that just made it more special.
Yeah, and once they were able to get it into overtime, they showed some real mental toughness and fortitude in closing it out.
Now here's Stoudemire. After Darren Collison's miss, outside Jordan, Chandler, into Stoudemire. Oh! With one, gets it to go. And that's now 6 points for Jordan.
Well, he's got the special ability, Kevin, to make shots while being heavily guarded. And I don't know how he does it, but he figures out a way to get the ball in the basket, even under pressure.
You know, this is the other thing about him. He's very sophisticated as a one-on-one defender. No matter who he's matched up with, he consistently takes away their #1 strength.
Stoudemire, defended by Nowitzki, and stolen by Mayo. The step back jumper is good. Mayo's got 8 points.
Just adds to what has already been a great day for him.
Now let's take a look at the list of players who have been absolutely lighting it up. These are the NBA scoring leaders over the last 10 games. And you look at Shorty, leading the league in points per game. Such a great play.
Kevin, you know, the season is 82 games long, and anything can happen. But I tell you what, if he keeps scoring like this, the rest of the season is going to look very good for his ball club. Well, O.J. Mayo stepping into the instant offense off the bench role for the Grizzlies last season, and it seemed to suit him quite well. I mean, a guy who can heat it up like that can hurt you from outside. Certainly a valuable part of their rotation. A guy that they counted on to produce points, and he did.
Well, everyone seems to have a hot hand here early on.
You know, if they keep up this scoring pace, we'll definitely see some big point totals from both of these teams.
Gets it to go. Mayo's got 10 points.
You know, Kevin, they were a step late on their defensive rotation, and that helped them get right to the rim.
You've got to give O.J. Mayo a lot of credit for accepting that bench role, not being a malcontent, and being a good team guy.
Yeah, former #3 overall pick in the draft, but he showed that he's all about winning by accepting that role. And I think that's more important to teams than see whether a guy will start or not. Will he accept his role and will he finish games? That's what Mayo did. They haul in that rebound, but they've got to pick things up in that department.
Things can even out later on, but it's not a good sign for them if this rebound disparity grows through the rest of the game.
Here's Collison. After the made shot from Tyson Chandler. And Chandler sends it back.
Yeah, he's struggled with the shot this quarter, and he's got to find a groove somehow.
Here's Shorty. Shorty's got 8.
3 straight buckets in the paint. They're making it look effortless.
Well, speaking of effortless, we'd like to see a little more out of the defense. So how about trying, guys?
Now here's Collison, averaging 8 points a game. Team. Good job in the low post. 10 points for him.
Can't pass up that kind of look.
Seconds left in the first quarter. Kicks it to Stoudemire. Anthony, the pass to Jordan. Off the drop step. He flies to the bucket and lays it in. And the Knicks lead by 3.
Again, they attack the hoop from the lane. It's been really good.
Yeah,
they're getting whatever they want.
And it's a completely new group on the floor for the Mavericks. And a new group in for the Knicks. Marcus Camby is checked in for Chandler. Thomas comes in for Amari Stoudemire. Ramon Shumpert is checked in for Carmelo Anthony. And Jason Kidd has subbed in for Shorty. Back to Carter. Tip. And here's the break. Jordan dishes to Shumpert. A monster one-hand slam.
The one-handed, very nice.
Yeah, nice strong finish there.
Just punched it home.
Beauvoir for 3. No good on that last second attempt there. Oh, we've seen some great shots in the first quarter. No shortage of offense. Knicks lead by 5. And we'll be back shortly for the start of the second quarter.
Tune in this Saturday night. The Los Angeles Lakers take on Dirk Nowitzki and the Dallas Mavericks. Live from American Airlines Center, it's the real deal.
All right, the second quarter beginning in just a moment. And guys, what's your take on the Knicks so far?
Good start into this club. I like the way they played together. Really moved the ball and did a nice job offensively.
Yeah, excellent ball movement. It's paid off on the scoreboard, too.
Mavericks trailed by 5.
Well, one thing you can always count on with Dallas is that they're going to be tough to beat at home. That crowd they fill up the arena every single night. They love their team, and of course, coming off the championship year of 2011, you know they'll be streaming through the turnstiles for many years to come in Dallas.
And now let's check out the lineup courtesy of Gatorade, all fueled up and ready to go. Here's the second quarter of play. On the court for the Mavericks. Beauvoir and Carter to the back. Jones is up there with Marion, and it's Brand at the pivot spot, manning the middle. Dallas really does love their Mavs, and this place can get absolutely crazy when the Mavs are playing well.
And Kevin, that has happened quite a lot recently. I mean, they won the title the year before last, and the Mavericks always seem to have a good home record. And last year, no different. 23-10 in their home games last season.
Let's go to our sideline reporter, Doris Cook. Doris, what do you have?
Well, guys, Knicks coach Mike Woodson asked Amari Stoudemire to spend his summer working on developing his low post move. Amari said, "It's actually great because I've never had a coach that asked me to work on my low post move. I've been a pick-and-roll player my whole career. Being able to shoot the ball from outside and also have a quick first step is an advantage for me. And now to apply some low post moves will even be that much better." Kevin, you have to love the arsenal.
A scary thought. Thanks, Doris.
And a smart move. I mean, if he loses some of his quickness, he can still use his strength on the low block.
And shot on the way, and it's Dallas with another. The Knicks leading by 4.
You know, Elton Brand in his day was a consistent all-star in production, if not recognition. Those days are behind him. You know, he's now more of just a good, solid starting power forward in the NBA.
Brand, a screen on kick. Here's Beaubois. Out to Carter. Back to Brand. Carter outside. Shoots the three. Another three for Dallas. We talk about Elton Green's prime. Clark, the #1 overall pick back in 1999.
Yeah, the guy who averaged about 20 points and 10 rebounds his first 8 seasons. That doesn't happen very often. Not to mention the guy who could pass and block shots too, Kevin.
Offensively, just hammering away in the paint.
And that's 10 straight points inside, too.
Beaubois with the ball. He's picked up by Kidd. Fades. Beaubois can't get it to go.
Solid advantage of rebounding totals for them so far here.
You know, in every game, but particularly in the post game, every little advantage you can use helps. And they're certainly enjoying one on the glass here.
And there's the feed to Jones. Over Shumpert. And another basket for Dallas.
And Rick Carlisle, head coach of the Mavericks, actually coached previously in Detroit and Indiana. You know, he was the coach of the year in his very first season as a head coach, 2002 with Detroit.
Now let's go to the 2K leaderboard to look at the teams that specialize in intimidation. In third, the Mavericks.
Talking about block shots. You want block shots? Talk to these guys. They've done a terrific job this year in that category. Outstanding.
The Knicks leading by 5. And going back to Rick Carlisle's time in Detroit, he'd gotten them as far as the conference finals in his second season, but was shown the door just prior to their championship year in 2004.
Yeah, the Pistons won the title the next year, so a move that obviously was justified, but a strange move nonetheless. Rick Carlisle had plenty of success, but that's the NBA. Coaches get blamed for everything, and to Carlisle's credit, he just moved on, kept working, and has had tremendous success ever since.
And he can't get the first one.
There have been a lot of great point guards in this game, and Jason Kidd is one of the all-time greats. He's so good at finding teammates, getting them the ball where they want. And if you're a high flyer as a teammate of his, just go to the rim, Kidd will throw that alley-oop.
Yeah, it's all part of the package that makes Kidd one of the greatest point guards of all time and recent time. I mean, he can do everything you want and more, and does it all really well.
Collison kicks to Mayo. It's tipped. It's out of bounds. The Mavericks able to retain possession here. Here we are in November. Let's see how things are shaking out in the West early in the season. Look at the Lakers. And, of course, the Dallas Mavericks. 7 games back.
I think for the Mavericks, they've gotten off to kind of start that you wouldn't have been able to imagine. It's been a lot bumpier than anticipated.
Yeah, they've got some talent, and I think most people thought this team would be pretty good. And yet everything's going wrong for them to this point in the season. And they better be careful. I mean, this season could really fall apart for them.
When Dallas had their title run in 2011, they just beat up on teams from the Eastern Conference in the regular season. It wasn't quite the same last year.
Here's Jordan. He had a 39-point outing in the last game against New Orleans.
You know what was great too, Kevin, is the way he balanced getting his own shot and making plays for others.
Pretty significant laps there on the defensive end, guys.
Yeah, those are the ones you just can't allow them.
No, if you're giving up dunks and layups defensively, you're in huge trouble.
Here's Mayo. And Dallas still finished with a positive record going 10-8, but it wasn't like it was the year before when they were just Steve dominant.
Well, you look at the teams that have given Dallas trouble in the East, and they're all from the Central Division. And it makes sense. I mean, the Central was pretty strong, particularly with Chicago and Indiana, but it's funny. Something about that Central Division just seems to give Dallas fits.
Nowitzki with the screen on him. Carter drives in. There's the pass to Collison. It's O.J. Mayo on the way. That ball's great assist by Darren Collison. And now it's only a 5-point Knicks lead. The Knicks have gone 8-9 in the second quarter. Very nearly perfect from the field.
Bubble up!
Huge
something he's capable of every trip down.
And it's just impossible to get tired of.
Yeah, there's always this excitement, this aura that surrounds him, guys, and the crowd senses it.
The Sprite replay really gave you a good look at the action. And the Mavericks call time here.
You know, the Knicks with an 8-10 record against the Western Conference did about as well as any team in the East when facing Western Conference foes.
Elton Brand's checked in for the Mavericks. Jones comes in for Vince Carter. The Knicks also changing it up. Marcus Camby, he's checked in for Chandler. Amon Shumpert has come in for Amari Stoudemire. That's Felton in for Shorty. Nowitzki covered by Anthony. And the shot is good from Nowitzki. What's interesting is you look at a lot of the Knicks roster and the big names who spend a lot of time, Steve, in the West, like Amari Stoudemire, all those years for Phoenix, and Melo Anthony with Denver, so they knew the West pretty well. But nonetheless, kind of an interesting record for them. Only 8-10 against the West.
Yeah, a lot of big names, as you mentioned, Melo, Amari, Chandler, but I don't know how well those pieces fit together. So even though they've got a lot of star power, the puzzle didn't quite work, and I think that's why you saw the Knicks really have kind of a roller coaster season.
Outside Mayo launches it. The shot's good. He's making the play. Collison's got his 8th assist in the game.
He's been hot for most of this game, and if he keeps it up, this team could turn things around.
8 feet away, and the basket by Jones. Jones has got 4 this quarter.
They didn't get off to much of a start early on, but they're shaking off the rust here in the quarter.
Well, Darren Collison, the speed merchant out of UCLA, scoring point guard, son of 2 track stars. Boy, he's got quickness. You can't run away from that DNA.
Well, going back to Darren Collison, Clark, not just a speedster, he's a steady outside shooter, too. That makes him tough to handle.
Yeah, and I think, guys, the key for him is the development as a playmaker. We know he can score. He's a scrappy defender. But that's where Collison can continue to grow.
And the first one goes.
And you have to give the ownership a lot of credit for the Mavs' success over the years, guys. A lot of people may not agree with things he has to say, but you can't argue with the success that he's had. He's spent his money, his resources, he's put a ton of passion and energy into building that franchise, and it's developed into one of the best in the entire league.
You talk about passionate ownership on the sideline, actively involved in drafting the roster and the fan experience. You don't get much better than Dallas. From the top all the way down, it's all about winning and not afraid to push for what's best for the NBA.
And I think he wants the best for his players, too, and that's why, as a player, you've got to love, admire, and respect that. You know that he wants to win just as much as you do. And it's easy to go the extra mile and commit to a team where that's the case coming from ownership.
Carter with it. Felton defender. Here's Mayo. Again, the Mavericks score.
He's always been like a bad window washer, a streaky shooter. I mean, he's definitely in one of those grooves right now.
And Kidd, here we go. Thomas passes to Carmelo. Passes it down.
Rock that rim. Gotta love that enthusiasm, folks.
Not only Clark did he rock the rim, he decided to hang around a bit for that one, too. I love it.
What a finish. That was just gorgeous. I'd like to see a 2-for-1 situation here, Clark.
I agree. I think it's always good to give yourself that last shot.
Rest against Kidd. Here's Mayo. Drops one in from the wing. Mayo's got 12 now in this quarter.
Well, after that strong start to this game, he's really picked it up here in the second.
The shot and game clock separated by 4. Felton dishes the Kidd. Over West. And there are the Knicks with another bucket. Mavericks trail by 3. Mayo left side. Feeds to Carter. Carter right side. No good on the buzzer beater. And the first half ends in a close one. Knicks out front. They're up by 3. Stay right where you are.
Oh yeah, the music's back now.
Damon Bruce.
I did some change around since they wiped my music out last time. Hopefully they won't wipe it out this time.
Sports Studio. They're at the breakout at American Airlines Center, and what's been a tight game. New York leading against Dallas. Starting off on the right foot this young season, they're definitely playing well. Michael Jordan is their leading scorer. He's got a dozen points and also has contributed with his passing, making some assists. And for the Mavericks, it's a grinded-out effort. Smart decision-making offensively, great ball handling, they've been limiting turnovers. Through 2 quarters, O.J. Mayo's in complete control. What he's been able to do from the field has been nothing short of spectacular. Only a select few players in the league shoot the ball like that. Starting things off with a look, game's untapped for later. It'll be the 76ers against the Cavaliers in Cleveland. And a little Eastern Conference mix-up for you there. Tip-off is at 7 Eastern. And one game also on the docket. Out in Charlotte, it'll be the Bobcats against the Raptors. That matchup should be a fun one to watch. That's a 7 p.m. tip time, 10 Pacific. And we'll look here at the other NBA action. It'll be the Warriors out at Oracle Arena against the Nets. A 7:30 Eastern time is tip-off. And it's time to tell the future. Get ready to make today's picks. That's all we've got here. Now, back to Kevin, Steve, Clark, and Doris for the second half.
We have a close ball game on our hands as we get set for the second half of basketball.
How about O.J. Mayo on this 22 points? He played the role of the pest today, too. I mean, he's caused a bunch of turnovers.
Those steals are all the evidence you need of just how high his basketball IQ is. He really sees the floor well defensively.
Setting the floor for the Knicks. Big 3, Carmelo Anthony, along with Stoudemire and Tyson Chandler for 3, 4, and 5. Shorty out there with Michael Jordan. Here's Shorty. Open look. That drops and it comes off an assist from Jordan. Jordan's got his 3rd assist on the night. Collison kicks to Mayo. Pass to Nowitzki. Shot is off. Excellent D there from Stoudemire. The dish to Chandler. Jordan inside, guarded by Mayo. Gets it to go. Now it's a 5-point Knicks lead. Maverick shooting has been just outrageous, 64% from the field at this point. Outside Collison. Kaman. That ball, great assist by Darren Collison. 16 points for Chris Kaman. The Knicks leading by 3.
You know, Chris Kaman is a skilled 7-footer. I think very underrated as a player. He can rebound, defend, block shots, has some good post ability offensively as well. Ambidextrous around the rim.
Collison kicks to Mayo. Gives him the lead pass. There's Chris Kaman on the assist by Mayo. 18 points for Chris Kaman.
Not a lot going wrong for them on offense in the early part of the 3rd. I mean, that's 3 makes on 4 tries now.
And let's step back for a second to look at the top shooting point guards in basketball this season. And you look at Shorty, leading the league in field goal percentage. He always gets good looks.
And that percentage is what you'd hope to get from one of your big men. To get it from a guy who spends most of his time on the perimeter, though, I mean, that's phenomenal.
Yeah, Steve, he has been a laser. That's what coaches call mid-eye shooters, laser. His #1 job is to create looks for his teammates. But as you can see by that percentage, he's just as good at creating high-quality chances for himself.
And going back to Chris Kaman, it's tough to find good centers in this league, isn't it, Clark? My goodness.
Yeah, it's really hard because big guys either have 1 or 2 skills or are lacking in many skills. And Kaman is a well-rounded player. He can block shots. He can score the ball with both hands. He's got a nice touch. He's tough. Those guys that bring his size and skill level are coveted players in this league.
Here's Collison. Chandler with the defensive effort.
Terrific job that time defending at the rim. I mean, it's not an easy task stopping that fella when he's headed to the bucket like that. Good job.
And the Knicks good for 2. Just over 2.5 minutes gone by here in the second half.
You know, the Knicks were able to make it back to the postseason last year, but they ran into a buzzsaw when they met Miami in the first round.
Well, he's smart. He's getting good shots, and he's knocking them down.
Down low. piece of and stolen by Mayo. Over Chandler. Shot by Mayo is no good. I never got the feeling the Knicks had a chance, Steve, did you, against Miami, especially with the injuries that they were dealing with as that series went on?
Yeah, Miami was just a much stronger team, and they proved that by going on to the championship. But remember, they also had that
let's get back
fire
in the game.
extinguisher when they cut his hand, and that set the Knicks back in that series as well.
Elton Brand's checked in for the Mavericks. And New York with a change here, too. Hamby's checked in. Outside Collison. He passes to Marion. Back to Collison. 6 to shoot. Nowitzki kicks to Mayo. Easy shot. And it's good. Assisting on the play was Nowitzki. And that's now 30 points for O.J. Mayo. The Knicks leading by 5. He kicks it to Stoudemire. Outside Jordan. It's the lead pass. Here's Shorty. And it's good. Assisting on the play was Jordan. Jordan's got his 6th assist on the night. Here's Collison. Collison off the pick from Nowitzki. Collison kicks to Nowitzki. The kick out to Collison. Candy with the block.
Solid job by them on the glass here tonight. +8 in rebounding.
Well, you have to rebound to win, and that's exactly what's happening right now.
Outside Collison. He dishes it to Brand. Dishes to Mayo. Collison, the pass to Marion. The shot's good. Collison making the play. Marion's got his first points of the night.
Points in the paint has been the main course, the main entree, if you will. They just keep pounding it inside.
Now they're seeing no resistance defensively in the paint area, so the defense has got to be tougher.
Hits the bucket. Shorty's got 21 in the game.
I'm sure that's a load off his mind after not hitting a single three-pointer in the first half.
Mayo, that's good.
Unbelievable. Three-pointers for both sides in just a matter of seconds. Now I think it's a matter of them just trying to top each other.
Defended by Nowitzki. The drive by Jordan. Good. Jordan's got 16.
Beautiful finesse move right there. I mean, you got to love that finger roll finish.
He feeds it to Mayo. He gathers. Here's Marion. Shot is off.
Tough D on the inside. Put up a roadblock, a construction barrel right there. That's what he brings defensively.
Puts one up from 19. And the Knicks good for 2.
The lift they've gotten from him today has been huge. I mean, he's been steady offensively and has helped them get out in front here so far.
Collison dishes to Nowitzki. Back to Collison. Open look. It's rebounded by New York. Shorty's got his 5th rebound in this one.
You know, I get the feeling he's pressing here a bit. There's a fine line between being intense and focused and being aggressive and pressing. And right now, he's pressing and hasn't found his rhythm in this game.
1:41 left to play in the third. And a big-time jam right there.
At his size, he can really finish at the rim.
Yeah, and not just layups, as you just saw, folks. Wow.
Unbelievable, isn't it? I mean, able to throw it down with ease.
Outside Collison. Passes it to Mayo. It's up a 3. And play stops. As it looks like they come over the back here.
Well, you like it when a guy goes hard to the boards, but you have to be smart. He went right over his back on that one. Not a good play.
I think he was just over anxious that time.
Catching up on the changes for Dallas. Chris Kamen's checked in for Brand. Carter comes in for Dirk Nowitzki. Cunningham, he's checked in for O.J. Mayo. And Delonte West is subbed in for Darren Collison. West outside. Carter kicks to Kamen. Dallas moving the ball around. Marion. Good work defensively by Anthony.
Boy, I am absolutely loving this. They're pumping bodies down there and taking no prisoners, coming away with every board.
Yeah, that willingness to fight for every loose ball is a big reason why they have the lead right now, Clark.
They're not as aggressive from the outside here. But maybe they should think about stretching the defense a little bit, like they did in the first half. I mean, stretching the defense makes it easier to score inside, too.
And that one's good. Shumpert's got 12.
You know, you look at how this has played out so far, and they've really had a big advantage inside.
Yeah, they're getting higher percentage shots in the lane, and they're getting a bounce here or there, but I think they're playing pretty well down there.
Heyman's shot is good.
And he knows how to finish when he gets that close to the hoop.
We've got a 9-second difference between the shot clock and the game clock. Kicks it to Chandler. Smith outside. Over Carter. And the Knicks getting another bucket right there.
They're just getting better offensively as the game goes along, making good choices and getting high percentage shots.
And they're playing hard and playing smart, too, Steve. They've just been very, very good.
Left side West. Back to Keeman. That one goes.
That was a nice finish to an excellent possession.
Just 4 seconds left to play in the third.
Oh,
It's
man.
stolen by West. And he beat the buzzer, but it's no good. And a great show through 3 quarters. And the end of the fourth. Who will carry the day? Knicks lead by 7. And we'll be back right after this.
Coming up next Monday, Monte Ellis and the Milwaukee Bucks go up against the Chicago Bulls. Don't miss it.
Michael Jordan.
As the fourth quarter gets going, let's swing it over to Doris Burke to find out who's had the strike uncontainable game. Doris?
Guys, well, it was the stretch by the Knicks that garners the uncontainable game today. A big run by them in the third quarter is the difference right now as they've opened up this game. Guys, 1 quarter left to play, but they look to be in complete control.
Doris, thanks. And I think we can all agree the whole flow to their game sort of gelled at that point. Don't you think, Steve?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, but everything came together for them all at once, and their shots started dropping one after another at one end, and then at the other end, they went into lockdown mode defensively.
Yeah, it was truly a good stretch for them, Steve. All they needed were a few things to kind of click into place, and then they were rolling on all cylinders.
Dirk and Keeman, they're inside. Mayo out there with Collison. And it's Clutter in for 3 seconds. The lineup out there for the Mavericks. Nice shot by Jordan.
Just an unbelievable display of offense here today.
Well, it seems like every shot that goes up finds its way to the hoop. I mean, every player is sharp and on target.
Keeman passes to Clutter. Outside Mayo. Launches a 3. And that one's good. Mayo's got 14 points now in the second half.
He's putting on a commanding performance here. He's hit 2 3-pointers in each half. Turnover problems for them, and they just look lackluster out there.
Yeah, sometimes you have off games, but you always have to bring the effort. I'm not sure I'm seeing that right now.
Here's Shumpert. And again, New York with the triple. A few possessions into the fourth quarter, just over a minute played. Carter outside. Nowitzki inside. Sean Marion, he's checked in for Chris Keeman. The Knicks also changing it up. Anthony comes in for Chandler. And it's Shorty in for Raymond Felton. Marion kicks to Mayo. Carter outside. Marion backing down. Carter. Nowitzki himself. Taken away by Anthony. The feet to Shumpert. And a foul called on the shot. Got him on the way up that time, so he'll shoot 2 right here.
Take a look at what Shumpert's done. 15 points, and from long range, he's got a 3-pointer to his credit as well.
Yeah, Clark, he's shown he can hit that shot. I think he can really make it a weapon for himself if he keeps at it. Last year was an interesting season for the Dallas Mavericks. I thought Rick Carlisle did his best to parse out minutes and try to get guys rest. He did have an older roster, particularly with guys like Dirk Nowitzki, Jason Kidd, Vince Carter. But it was a tough thing to overcome. They never really could build the momentum that they had found in years prior.
Back to the Mavs a second. You know, when you have a team like that is aging, you know, you put them in a compacted season, a lot of games in a very short window, and normally would not bode well for them.
No, it wouldn't. They'll play more games this year, but overall, I think they'll be better off with more days to rest in between. As a matter of fact, I would love to see the rest of the season go back to normal, but the games stay at 66%.
Wouldn't that be nice?
That would be awesome.
You'd have great practices, better coaching, fresher athletes. I mean, even the commissioner agrees with that.
I think that would be awesome if somehow you could make that happen.
The Knicks leading by 6. Ball's not loose. Marion with it. Now Anthony defending. Carter for 3. Another 3 for Dallas.
And the pace has really ramped up in the second half.
Yeah, I'd like to re-energize effort here. I mean, what's in the battle?
Here's Shumpert. And there are the Knicks with another bucket.
And the defense has to pick it up a little bit here. They're getting bullied inside.
Yeah, they just have not competed well enough. I mean, they've not fought. You want to see fight and aggressive.
And Derek Collison again. Collison's got 4 points now in the quarter. The Knicks have gone perfect 4-4 to start the final quarter. Can't ask for anything more than that. Anthony, and by Marion. Chandler's shot. And the Knicks lead by 5. The Mavericks have gotten it done so far from the field here in the fourth, going 6 for 7. Now Collison with 1. And it's Carter again missing.
He's one guy the defense is not afraid to leave open from that range for obvious reasons.
Jordan with the bucket. And the Mavericks call time here.
You know, for the better part of the history of the NBA, Kevin, the Knicks have been a fixture in the playoffs. And up until the last few years, they had missed out, but it looks like they're back now.
Doris Burke has an update for us. Doris?
Kevin, I was able to listen in on what Rick Carlisle was going over with his team in that last huddle. He told us, guys, I know we can do this, fellas. Let's maximize every possession and get after it and just watch. Things will go our way. Kevin?
Fades back. There's Chris Keenan on the assist by Collison. And now, 24 points for Chris Keenan. In that stretch with the Knicks postseason victory, 7 consecutive years, which matched their only other big drought in the 60s. But they're back, Steve. Their roster's improved. They are back.
Yeah, but how far back are they, Kevin? I think that's the question. You know, they've been good enough. They've had a lot of talent in the last couple of years, but the pieces haven't quite fit together. So they're still trying to put it all together as one and trying to make that next step.
Anthony, defended by Nowitzki. And there are the Knicks with another bucket.
He got that one, but he hasn't been producing the way we're accustomed to. He needs to look for a shot a bit more.
Outside Mayo, the pass to Marion. To Mayo. Fades and shoots. That's good. Mayo's got 43 points.
Say they might have to make a defensive adjustment. You can't give them that kind of a look from beyond the arc.
Inside. And here's Collison. Feeds it to Keenan. Solid play in the low block, and that one's good. Now just...
I gotta do one thing right quick. Because, you know, when you get closer to this world happens. When you get closer to
2-point Knicks lead.
It's been said often that good defense leads to offense, and that's what we're seeing here with all these points off turnovers.
Yeah, because the defense doesn't have a chance to set up once they've made that turnover, so they're really taking advantage in transition. So probably the right play defensively. If you can't get the block, send them to the free throw. Have an easy two.
No easy buckets inside. Force free throws and work to keep them out of the lane next time around.
First one falls for.
That's
good.
That's the way to get the
Hey, my man. I missed a free throw.
Net rebounding has enabled them to
I
keep
can't
the
believe
lead.
it.
And has allowed second chance opportunities for him, which are very
On the
valuable.
above. I
Net
missed.
is good.
I missed.
Shorty's got 5
I
points
can't believe
in the
it.
quarter.
Yeah, and he's such a clutch player, too.
3 minutes
Relishes
left.
these big
We got
moments
about
with the clock winding down, the game's up for grabs. That's when he tends to want the ball and create something more often than not.
Jordan
deliver.
rules.
And let's get look out like that. Now that is just simply pure power, fellas. A nasty throwdown right there.
I'm telling you, Steve, this building is in awe.
Is he blessed with amazing athleticism or what? That's just incredible.
And that last replay, courtesy of Sprite. Back to Marion. Nowitzki. Keenan dishes to Marion. That's good. Here's Shumpert. Here's Shorty. It's Carmelo Anthony on the wing. New York moving the ball around. Jordan. That's in there. Anthony with the assist. Anthony's got his 4th assist in this one.
Boy, they are really getting chewed up inside here. I mean, that's 8 of the last 10 points they've given up inside, in the paint.
And the paint should be sacred ground for a defense. I mean, you can't let anybody just trot in there and get an easy bucket.
Out of bounds, Knicks ball. This ball keeps possession. The Knicks making a switch here. Stoudemire's checked in. .51 left to play in the final quarter. He rifled that one in from distance. Shorty's got 8 here in the quarter.
Anytime they've needed a hoop, he's taken over one shot after another push.
Stay with your man.
Keenan sets a screen for Collison. Here's Nowitzki. That ball, great assist by Jerry Collison. 8 points for Nowitzki. The Knicks leading by 6. A drive by Anthony. And he sails in for the layup.
He's always so in control, guys. Even when he's going hard to the hoop, very skilled finisher.
Here's Kamen. Tyson Chandler pulls it in. Chandler's got his 3rd rebound tonight. Here's Jordan. That one falls coming off Anthony's feet. Anthony's got assist number 5 here tonight.
This has all been about him this quarter. I mean, their lead is safe if he keeps up this kind of play.
Collison kicks to Kamen. Tyson Chandler grabs the board. Knicks on offense. They're on a 14-6 run. Anthony, the pass to Chandler. To the paint. Doubled by Collison. And good on the basket. Book it. And it's a 12-point Knicks lead.
Boy, they just cannot figure out a way to stop this guy this quarter, Kevin.
Neal kicks to Nowitzki. It's stolen by Stoudemire. Here's Shorty, and it's blocked. Here's Mayo. That falls. Great assist by Karen Collison. Mayo's got 45 points. New York's gone 2 for 2 from 3-point land to start the 4th quarter. Here's Anthony, and there are the Knicks with another bucket.
Not much drama left in this one, guys. No, it hasn't quite exactly been a nail-biter. I mean, it's going to be a great win for them, though.
Collison dishes to Nowitzki. It's stolen by Stoudemire. Shot clock and game clock separated by less than 6 seconds. Here's Jordan, and there's another one for the Knicks.
And that one should remove all doubt about the outcome of this game. This thing's over.
Now it's just a matter of what the winning margin's going to be.
Collison. And then get another bucket right there.
They could have used this run a while ago. It may not make much difference now.
Yeah, they hit that snooze button a little too much because they showed up late to this game.
From deep. Good.
Judging our authority. Hey, Hope, so I don't even know. We like you all. Good night.
So it's New York picking up the win. They pulled off this win, Clark, with respectable performances on both ends of the floor.
Yeah, I think it was just really a nice overall effort, Kevin.
Now you get the fuck out of your arena, Dallas.
You've been
conquered and swept by the Knicks. Like I said, what happened? So
And
you
now
going to
we
get 12.
present the Jordan player of the game, Shorty.
Yo, the sun don't shine forever, but as long as it's here, we might as well shine together. Better now than never, business before pleasure. P. Diddy and the fam, who you know do it better. Yeah, right, no matter what, we airtight. So when you hear something, make sure you hear it right. Don't make it out of yourself by assuming our music keeps you moving. You know that I'm 2 levels above you, baby. Love you, baby. I'ma make you love me, baby. Get crazy, ain't no and that jealousy is only